car. Okay, thanks, Whitey. Bye-bye. Okay, bye-bye.
All right, I think I have a conclusion to everything that's been happening. So, recap for those of you that don't watch all of my videos. Over the past 2 months, I have constantly been having issues with this truck. It started with, we did set the overhead, and that didn't work. And then we got injectors, and that didn't seem to work. Then I went and got a fuel pump. Well, actually, I take that back. We did the injectors and we thought we had it figured out. But then I started dumping diesel into my oil, and everybody said it was an injector. I went to Freightliner and had a UV test done. They said nothing was leaking up top. They said it was probably down below, that it was a cracked head or something like that. So I took it to another mechanic in the Pittsburgh area where I was at, and they did a dye test as well. He said the same thing, but he didn't think it was the head because there's no coolant anywhere. I'm not overheating. None of the signs added up to it being a cracked head. He wanted to take the oil pan down. He wanted to see if there was anything down there. But before he did all that, he wanted to take every single injector out, inspect all the cups and everything else. Well, at that point, I had a government load. I couldn't stick around another day for them to go through the whole engine. So I went to Walmart. I did a pseudo oil change just to keep the diesel out of the oil as much as I could, because for about every 800 miles to 1,000 miles, I was adding a gallon of diesel to the oil system. So I was like, I'll come back next week. I've got a set run. It brings me back here every week. Next week I'll come by and you guys can look into it. I said, is there anything else it could be? He goes, literally the only other thing that he could think of that it would be, if it wasn't something up top, was a fuel pump. Now, when we did the injectors, we went through and cleaned everything up there. So I didn't think that it was going to be in the cup or anything like that, because we went through, cleaned everything looked good. So I took a chance and thought, I'll buy the fuel pump. I've been having some rough starts, and what we had thought was, back about 2 months ago, I was changing a fuel filter. Actually, it was longer than 2 months ago. It was November of last year. But the truck sat through December and January because I didn't drive in the winter. But anyway, so what we had done was, I had an issue where I thought I had gotten some bad gas and I changed the fuel filter. Well, when I did so, I had put the fuel filter on. I didn't fill it up because when I was watching videos, all the videos showed there was a manual prime. I put the fuel filter on, and it's a bitch to get it on and on because it's up against the frame and some lines and hoses, and it's a real bitch. So by the time I finally got it on there, and then I realized there was no mechanical prime, I Googled what happens if there's no fuel in the fuel filter, and it said that it may be hard to start, it'll eventually fill itself up, blah, blah, blah. It didn't say anything about doing any damage to the vehicle. So I thought, okay, no big deal. So I started it, I let it crank a few times, pause, crank a few times, pause, and then cranked it until it started. Fuel filter filled itself up. Seemed like that was it. It didn't seem like there was any issues. So fast forward to these past couple of weeks, when I explained all that to the mechanic, he's like, well, he goes, there is a chance that when you were starting it dry, the way that you did, you could have damaged one of the gaskets inside the fuel pump. He goes, but I'd still like to tear it down. And I should have listened to him because the guy knows what he's doing. And I mentioned him in the last video. If you guys are ever in the Pittsburgh area, Palco towing and truck repair, just the time I've spent there, everybody raves about their prices, how they're the cheapest tow around, and they do good work, as you guys will figure out throughout here in a minute. So anyway, so he's like, I'd really like to take it apart, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, you know what? Let me just get the fuel pump, because I know what's going to happen. I'm going to show up again next week. He's going to do the look into it, and he's going to realize, oh, it is the fuel pump. And they priced one at the Kenworth dealership, and it was like $3,000, $2,500 to $3,000. And so I did some research online, and I found shops that had one for $1,500. It's brand new. It's not rebuilt, blah, blah, blah. And it's, oh yeah, it's what it should be. I just got a good price on it. So I had it shipped to their establishment, and next week when I finished my route, I stopped by. They put the fuel pump on. and they did the oil change and the whole 9 yards. And so we thought, awesome, I'm done. I don't have to deal with this no more. Nope, 600 miles down the road, truck starts running funny again. I've got diesel in the oil again. So every 2 days or so, I'm doing an oil change to keep the oil as clean as I can. I just go to Walmart, I get 5-gallon buckets, spend like $150. I change the oil, take the buckets to the Walmart or TA or whoever will take the old oil, and 2-3 days later, rinse and repeat. Yes, it was kind of expensive, but I was trying to do as little damage to the truck as possible. So that didn't work. So I called Palco and they said, look, you're going to need to come in. You're going to need to just get a hotel room, leave it here for, like 2 days. Let us go through the thing and figure out what's wrong with it. If I'd have done this 2 weeks ago, I'd have saved myself the headache of the fuel pump. I'd have saved myself 2 weeks of oil change. I would have saved myself a lot more in the long run had I taken the extra day back when I should have, but I was on a load and it was a government load the first time I'd hauled for this broker, and I didn't want to mess up that relationship. And so I vowed to go with the load versus the mechanic, the repair guy's process. Anyway, long story short, this past week I did what he said. I dropped it off. He looked at it. He went through everything, and come to find out, we were both incorrect. It wasn't the cup, it wasn't the motor, and it wasn't the fuel pump. What it was the number 2 injector that I got from the factory. Now, these were supposed to be brand new McBee injectors, and I did some research online and found that Bosch and McBee are pretty much the same company, and these McBee injectors are supposed to be of really decent quality. And I see nothing but horror stories about people who get a reman Cummins injector, because you don't know how many times that injector has been remanned, and Cummins just does them over and over and over and over. And I saw so many bad things on the internet, everything I was reading about how bad these remans are. And they're $1,700 a piece. It's crazy expensive for something that seemed like it might have a high failure rate. So I opted to go with the McBees, and sure enough, one of the injectors from the factory was bad. The plunger was failing. So to double check and make sure that the dye test was showing what they thought it was showing by pulling out every injector and looking in the cup and yada yada yada, they cleaned everything up, they swapped the number 2 and the number 1, ran the test again, the dye followed to the number 1 cup, so we knew that it was the injector. They called around, and the only injector they could get is the Cummins reman. So, and I'm told this isn't going to affect anything, it's not going to hurt anything. So I've got 5 McBees brand new and 1 Cummins reman in the engine right now. And my thought was going to be to take the McBee that was bad, send it in for the warranty, but the mechanic needed to keep it for the core, or he had to charge me the core. Well, the core for the Cummins reman was more than if I bought a McBee brand new. Just stupid, but it is what it is. So long story short, I guess, all of these problems that I've been having over the last month that have cost me thousands of dollars, I think I figured out I've spent over $10,000 in 30 days chasing this issue. And the whole time it was an injector starting to go bad. And then that night that I got just outside of St. Louis, about 150 miles outside of St. Louis, the injector finally did go out, and I've been chasing that problem ever since. So there it is. But I've been running all week, and that's why I waited to do this video. I was at the mechanic Thursday. They had the truck Thursday and Friday. Friday afternoon I left, got a load, took it to Iowa. I'm in Iowa right now getting ready to pick up another load to go back to North Carolina. And I've been checking the oil twice a day, 3 times a day. Almost every time I stop, I check it just because I'm kind of paranoid now. And we're good. I'm not growing oil out of nowhere somehow. So hopefully things are on the right path and we can get to actually running a full week, because if you guys have watched all my videos, you've seen the problems that I've had with the insurance, with the driver's license, with the breakdowns, and everything else I've had going on. I have been doing this since January. I'm almost 3 months in, and I have yet to run a full 7 days. Every week I've had either a breakdown, a stoppage, something has happened, or I was running a, what do you call those, borrowed trailers, the loadout trailers, that caused problems. So this will be my first week of running a full week, and I'm hoping to gross between 8 and 10,000. The best week I've had so far was 72, and that was just because I got lucky in the way things lined up. But that was the week I ended at the mechanic, I think, for the first time. But either way, so hopefully this will be my first good week, and I can stop spending my entire savings account on repairs and breakdowns. So keep you guys in the loop. If you got any questions, if you want to know anything, let me know.